everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to create this design using Polygel with my non-dominant hand. Before getting started, I have to give a quick disclaimer. I am not a professional nail tech. I am not a licensed nail tech. I am just a girl doing my nails at home. For my natural nails, I just removed an old set. I'm going to start by using a cuticle pusher to push back my cuticles. And I grab a face mask to cover my face from all the dust as I'm about to file my nail. Use a electronic nail file to clean off my cuticle area. Once my nails are clean, I grab my nail tips and fit each fingernails for tips. Like I mentioned in my last video, you want your nails to fit from one end of your nails to the next end of your nails. You don't want them to be too small. And if they're too big, you can just file them down. But you definitely don't want them to be too small. Then you grab your glue and just glue it on. I am right-handed, and here you see me using my left hand to do nails on my right hand. And it was very difficult for me to somehow grip the nail and hold it so it can glue onto my fingernails. So I'm just playing that out to show you guys that it's not always super easy. I think this took me about 3 trials to actually get it glued on. You guys are probably familiar with what I'm wearing on my hand, but it's like a UV protectant, I guess, for when you put your hands in the lamp. As someone who always does their nails using gel nails, I bought it because I thought, it doesn't hurt to have it, so that's what I'm wearing. I also had a difficult time with my pinky, so I wanted to play that out to show you guys the difficulties that I had. Okay, once all the nails are on, I grab my file. This is just the one that I've had. I bought a whole pack of it during the pandemic, so I don't even know where I bought it from. I am removing the shine from the nail tip, and then I am lightly buffing my natural nail so that there is no bump between the nail tip and my natural nail. I want it to be flush, if that makes sense. And as I mentioned in my last video, I don't have a nail dust collector. I just wear a mask. Just make sure you put something over your face so that you're not inhaling all this dust. So something that you'll notice when I'm filing with my non-dominant hand is I either put my hand on the table and just use my other hand to file, or I hold the file steady and move my right hand around to buff or to file. I still haven't been able to fully file using my left hand. So this is the technique that works for me the best, is just putting my finger down on the table and filing with my other hand, or holding the file steady and using my right hand and just moving my finger around. That's what works for me. And I'm not taking too much time filing the shape of the nail because I'm not really good at shaping almond nails. So I'm just sharpening the nail already as it is and filing the sides so it can look a little bit more neat. After that, I grab a lint-free wipe with rubbing alcohol and I just wipe the dust off my nails. This nail prep is from Kiara Sky's Jelly Tips collection. Um, I think this is just to clean your hands. I'm not really sure what it does, but as I mentioned before, it helps with the longevity of my nails. So I use the number 1 and number 2 of it. Number 2 is the primer, so I use that on my nails as well, and it helps. Then I grab a base coat. This is just the one that I have. It's the Beatles one. I've had it forever. And I use that for my base coat. I put one coat of it and then I put my finger under the UV light. For this design, I'm going to be using clear polygel. So I painted my nail blue underneath and I used 2 coats of it. So I did 1 coat, put it under the light, and then I did a 2nd coat, put that under the light. Now I'm grabbing these like foils that I just got from Temu. I was really excited to use them. And I chose to use, I believe it's like a bluish purple color. And I'm going to stick that on my nails before I use the polygel. I also purchased this yellow tool, like I don't know what it's called, but I also purchased it from Temu. And this was my first time using it. As you clearly see, I didn't know how to pick up the foils. So I just chose to spill them all on the table and then grab them one by one. Originally, the plan was to use this clear hard gel as the cover of the design. However, when I opened it, I realized I had a little tiny bit of it left and I don't think it was enough for me to do my entire right hand. So I decided to use the clear hard gel as the sticky layer for the foil. And then I'll use the poly gel as the hard cover of the design. So you see me grabbing just a little bit of the hard gel. I'm just gonna paint it on like you would paint gel polish, just because it's very sticky. So the foil is gonna stick on it very well. I think there is a right side, like a front and a back of it, because the front side of the foil is the one that like kind of moves with the light, and then the back side of it is the one that kind of looks purplish. I know that now that I'm looking at my nails, but at the time I didn't know that. I really, really, really like the way this came out. My only regret was not using more of it. I should have covered my entire finger with that foil because it's really beautiful. It kind of looks like broken glass. So for next time, I know to use a whole lot more of it. I was being too generous with it. So I was going to use the hard gel on top, but then I realized there are a lot of bubbles in that hard gel. And if I put that on my nail, you're going to see all the bubbles on the design. So that is why I chose to use the polygel instead. So here's the polygel that I have. This is a clear nail extension gel. Polygel, for those of you guys who don't know, it's a mix of acrylic and gel. The acrylic powder specifically. So acrylic powder and gel. It has no smell and it only hardens when you put it under the light. So it's very forgiving. It's a great way for people who are just learning how to do their nails like me. And I have that polygel brush, which I've had since I started doing my nails, so I didn't have to purchase a new one. Usually when you buy a polygel kit, it comes with the brush and like some other accessories that you may need. But one of the main accessories that you don't really have to buy is alcohol. So the same way I was using alcohol, rubbing alcohol to remove dust and to help with the stickiness of the gel, of the hard gel, you also use that rubbing alcohol to help you move the polygel around so that you can kind of shape it however you want. You don't have to purchase like any fancy solution. You can just use rubbing alcohol. And as you can see, it's not moving. It is not going anywhere. So if you're like me and you're using your non-dominant hand, or you're not really good, you don't really know what you're doing, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. It's very forgiving. You can take your time, you can move it around, just do the best that you can. And then once you're happy with the way it looks, you put it under the light. I usually put it for about 30 seconds. So because this is a clear set, it's a little bit hard to see what's going on top. But what I've noticed is that the tip of my nail doesn't have enough polygel on it. So I'm adding a little bit more just to make sure everything is nice and even. Make sure all the holes are filled. And you can see on the brush, it gets a little bit sticky. It starts to stick to it. I just put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on my brush just to remove that stickiness, and then yeah, that's it. So just to explain again, I am using the hard gel as the base, as a sticky layer to for my foil to glue onto. And I could have also used the poly gel as a sticky layer for the foil, but I kind of already started with the gel, so I just continue. But you can always just use the poly gel as a sticky layer. You would just have to use a smaller amount of it. Like I said, my only regret with this design was not using a whole lot of that foil on my fingers, because I'm even looking at it now when I'm doing this voiceover. I'm like, man, I should have definitely used all, like, cover my entire nail with it. Just go for it. I was being too generous. And the whole idea behind putting the foil underneath and then using the polygel on top is because when I file my nail, after I'm done, I don't want to file off the foil. So it's safer for me to put the foil underneath and then put the polygel on top. That way when I'm filing, I'm only filing the polygel, not the foil. I grab a lint-free wipe with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and just wipe the sticky layer off my fingers. And you can see it looks super shiny, it looks super good, but we have to file. You can pretty much tell that the shape is not 100%. The height of the nail is not 100%. So I grab my mask, I grab my hand file, and I start filing. Again, I like to start off with the hand file. I have a little bit more control when I'm using my hand file. Yeah, just start filing. You can see I'm holding the file with my left hand and I'm moving my right hand around because I just can't file with my left hand. So this is the best way for me to do it. I'm either moving my right hand around or I put my right hand on the table and then use my left hand to file. When I first started doing my nails, my right hand took the biggest L because that is the hand that I use the most. So it's very natural that, the nails on my right hand would like mess up earlier. But because I didn't develop the skill yet, my right hand always looked terrible. The nails on my right hand always looked terrible, like horrible. They would pop off, especially on my index and middle finger. They will always pop off, they will break. Like, it was bad. It was really, really, really bad. So whenever people ask to see my nails, I'll always show them my left hand because even though it didn't look great, but it looked a lot better than my right hand. So what you guys are seeing here is like a bubble that popped. And what I'm doing here is just getting a little bit more of that polygel and I'm going to try to fill that hole as best as I can. In the best case scenario, what you want to do is continue filing down until the bubble is gone. And if you need to, you need to rebuild that nail. However, I did not do that. Filing off the nails and then rebuilding it is a lot of work. And I think by now I was already over it. I kind of wanted to be done with it. So I just kept going. But what you want to do is to file it down and then rebuild your nail. So you see that little bubble actually has dust filled in it. Yeah, I didn't care. I really did not care. I just kept going. And I also struggled with the shape. Oh my god, the shape was hard. You see me keep going back to that same index finger because I think I overfiled on one side and now I'm trying to salvage it. And I try my best. All I can say is I try my best. Now on this pinky, I don't think I used enough polygel because as I was filing, the foil started peeking through. This is also a scenario where you'll file down and then you will, add more of the foil and then add more of the polygel. I did not do that. That part that kept popping up, I ended up just removing it and yeah, that's it. I have no excuse. I didn't want to do it. So now I grab my e-file and I'm going to clean up the cuticle area. I started out with this bit, but I don't think it was the right one for my cuticles, so I ended up switching it out and using a different one. I think this one was a little bit better. So yeah, that's what I did. I just clean up that cuticle area, make sure the sides are nice and clean. You don't want to have any overflow of product in your cuticle area because that's how your nails are going to pop off. And then I grab my buffing block and I buff my nails. We're going to go back in with that lint-free wipe with the alcohol, with the rubbing alcohol, and remove the dust from my hands. Now to the final step, which is our top coat. This is just the one that I have. And oh my gosh, when you put that top coat on, baby, you don't really see it much with the pinky nail, but when I get to my other nails, you're gonna see that shine from the foil really coming through, and I love the way it turned out. Like I said, my only regret was not using a lot more of that foil. After I put on that top coat, I put my nails under the lamp for 30 seconds. And I'm using the lint-free wipe with rubbing alcohol to remove the sticky layer from the top coat. Then I grab my cuticle oil and rehydrate my cuticles. And that's it. I really like this set. My only regret was not using more of that foil, but other than that, I think it came out great. It's holding up really well, and I really like the way it came out. Let me know what you guys think. I think it came out great, but yeah, let me know.